Alright, I'm back. No shave ridge today, so we're going right in to the shave. We got Murphy and McNeil's Barbershop de los Muertos 2. You can see that nice reflective label there, that silver mirror label. Very nice. We got the barber poles and the decorated skull there. Very nice label. Also has a very nice side label. Matching, chrome, reflective, waterproof. We got the collaborators there, John Perry, Chicano Designs, and Murphy and McNeil. What does that small print say? Oh, shave soap, 4 ounces. Okay, and then the underside, we got the Kodiak soap base, which of course is the bear tallow, but it also has duck fat, amongst other things. 4 ounces there. This is a quite old soap. I believe it was like the original release. That's what we're working with there. Still holding up very well. It's became quite firm over the years. I don't know how it was originally, but it's became quite firm. Real good stuff. The scent on this one is based off of, or inspired by, Tom Ford for Man. And we'll get into the scent notes and everything. I have the original review back in the day. I just terribly need a shave today. I got like a full week's growth, and it's just killing me. Like, might even be more than a week. I've just been burning the candle at both ends, and I'm kind of getting tired. We'll talk about it. So let's go ahead and we got the Lancaster Razorworks shave bowl right here. We also got the matching Lancaster, well, not matching, Lancaster Razorworks brush. Might not have been like perfectly matchy, but I just wanted to use some of my favorite items. I've been getting my butt kicked and I really want to enjoy this one. And this is my favorite brush in my collection. This is part of my 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse collection. And this one is Death with the pale green and black. You can see it has the flutes on the top ferrule as well as the bottom. Truly unique. And then a nice Lancaster badger knot on top there. So one of my absolute favorites. Let's go ahead and wet the face here. Oh baby. So yeah, I've just been working both jobs, I've been working at the bar a little bit more often, which the money's nice, but I've been working, at the post office and at the bar. And then at the post office, I've been training a little bit to be the lead clerk for my shift. And then there was planning to go camping, and the actual camping trip, which I always overpack, overplan, and overdeliver. It was a camping trip of probably 14 individuals, 5 or 6 kids, and I'm just a single man, but these are all my friends and family, and I like to make sure we don't go without while we're enjoying ourselves up in the mountains or up at the lake. But I will say we did well. We did well. We had more food, more drink, more supply than we would ever need. So as a group, I give us an A+. We did fantastic, and we had a really good time. So everything worked out great. We got a nice spot. We actually got like a double spot. We got our spot and the spot beside us, just so we had a little bit of breathing room, and we had the group to fill it out too. So it just worked out great, and I needed it, but it just kind of added to the list of shit I had to do. I'm just tired and I'm sore. Alright. enough of the whining. We're going to be using this old butte right here. That is a Weighed and Butchered, Sheffield, England. You can see the etching on the side of the blade there. It just says Elite. Little bit of wear, but no big deal. Also nice little detailing on these kind of off-white cream colored scales. Nice little black spacer. Whatever the hell that is. Looks pretty hollow. Nice tiny little blade, maybe a 4/8 or something like that, 5/16. So that's what we will be working with there. I guess before I get started, the scent notes on this: top notes of citrus, lemon leaf, mandarin, bergamot. Let me just pull this up here. Mid notes: bergamot, basil, ginger, violet leaf, orange blossom, grapefruit blossom, tobacco leaf, and black pepper. Base notes of amber, cedarwood, patchouli, vetiver, oak moss, leatherwood, and cypriol. This is a Tom Ford fragrance, so you know it's good. This is not going to be a full review by any means. I actually don't know. I did get the details off of MurphyMcNeil.com for the Aeon base. I don't know if they sell the Kodiak base at this time. And I actually don't know if this scent is currently available. But you might see it on the resale market if you're interested. Or I could be completely wrong. It might still be in production. Like I said, this is not that video. We are not going into super details on this one. Did I just go against the grain immediately? No, not down here. However, need to pay attention here. Down on the neck. Or no, down on the cheeks, up on the neck. Tired. Currently 11 p.m. Not, super duper late. However, the way I've been going. Then we got, then I had jury duty today, the start of jury duty, so staring down the barrel of, possibly 2 weeks of this BS. And I know it's my civil duty and everything like that, blah, blah, blah. But this go round, I'm just not excited. It came at a bad time. My dad just went to the hospital. You see that, just globs of hair. Like I said, over a week growth for the non-believers that say nothing's going on. What are you even shaving? Nothing super serious, I hope. He was having like some pain in his side. And at first they thought, what was the first thing they thought? They went to the hospital that's about an hour away, even though we have decent hospitals in town. But my dad and his wife, they do all right, like upper middle class. And they always seem to, when it comes to medical things, they always go out of town. They never do any medical procedure in town, so even the small ones. So they went about an hour away, and they thought it was possibly, what was it first, appendicitis, and then possibly pancreatitis. They gave him some like pain meds and stuff, and then I guess my dad and Mary, I don't know why I said that, but I'm tired. My dad and his wife decided they would go to Seattle, which is about, 2 hours and some change away. And then they said, well, you might just have a hernia and a tear in your stomach. And the hernia is a hernia, but the tear in the stomach, if the intestines spill out and get twisted or in some weird, way, it could, cause some bigger issues. So, so I got jury duty, and my dad is figuring out what the hell's going on with that. So he'll be going in soon to check on that. And, hopefully they get that handled, nicely, and he'll begin his, journey to recovery. Seattle has some really good doctors, so I'm not too worried about it, although there's always a chance, you know what I mean? And yeah, so just a lot going on. Kind of feeling stretched thin at the moment, but we are. And then there's some other personal, financial things. I'm working hard to stay afloat. It's just a lot, so. But this shave is definitely working out. It's doing the job. I haven't used this old razor for a while, and I wanted to get a shave with it to determine if I was going to send it out, because Marion the Barbarian, being the the generous motherfucker that he is, he's setting me up, with a couple of his favorite home meisters to hone some of my razors. So that's just absolutely awesome, and I appreciate it, Marion. But I did kind of want to use this razor just to determine where's the edge at. Does it actually need it? Or should I send something else out that might benefit more from the honing services? And I will say, it doesn't feel super sharp at the moment. It's getting the job done, but there is like an element of tug here for sure. So yeah, I think this one will be in the batch of razors that I'm sending out to get touched up. Not too shabby. See if I can get as much of this on this blade as possible. I normally use my towel to just get all the lather off, but I'm experimenting with just wiping it off with some paper and tossing it in the trash. Because what I notice is my towel will drop down to all my bathroom sink wares, like my brush scuttle, my other brush bowls, and I have other things, and the hairs sometimes like fall into these items. I'm getting kind of tired of that, so maybe just throwing it on a paper towel and tossing it. Might be the move. Okie dokie. I do gotta kind of watch that square point a little bit. I tagged myself down here at the very beginning of the shave. Try to get the light, get my beard out of the damn way so you can see. So, when I'm doing those J hooks and everything, you want to have contact with the skin, obviously, or you're not shaving, but then you also don't want to dig and cut yourself with the square point. So, it's a balance. Alright, I already got that. Let me just flip the razor there to go against the grain on the neck. That feels great. Looks like I went over the top of a blemish there, because I definitely didn't feel it dig. I think that's about it. I only do with the grain and against the grain, so that'll do it for me. Whatever level of BBS or DFS we're at, it's where it's gonna stay. Let me get the excess lather off the blade and put it to the side here. Alright, we'll rinse off and get into this aftershave. And that actually was a pretty good shave. It's not the sharpest at the current moment. I haven't used it in a long time, so I stropped it about 30 times just to kind of refresh the edge. I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe you guys could let me know. If you let your straight razor sit for a long time, do you guys strop it before you shave again? Or do you strop before every shave, regardless of how long it's been sitting? Let me know. I typically don't. If I'm using straight razors heavily, like in a heavy rotation, they don't sit for longer than 2 weeks. I typically don't strop before the shave, because I strop it after the shave, I don't know, whatever the hell I feel like. Sometimes I do, sometimes I do like 40, sometimes I do 50, sometimes I do 69. It just kind of depends how I'm feeling that day. But if I'm using them heavily, I'll definitely give it a nice good strop after the shave. Got the Lancaster Razorworks black sheep towel and yellow. Get the bulk of that lather out of the beard, and we'll just get the rest out of there off camera. Let's kind of feel around before we put this aftershave, shall we? See how we did. With the grain with straight razors usually gives me really good results. Yeah, that really fills BBS right there. Adam's apple with the grain, or no. If I feel a little bit going across like this. But I have a swirl on my Adam's apple and on the two sides. So imagine, you know, like if it came down to a point, it would be like all 3 points. The sides have a swirl and the Adam's apple has a swirl. And the middle's just kind of, you know, more or less up or down. That feels pretty BBS too. So Adam's apple, not exactly BBS, but everywhere else feels pretty darn good. How's that one going? Not bleeding out of control, just a little dot, so not bad. Best in class aftershave bottles. We got the matching, you know, reflective chrome label. It says Aftershave Splash on top. 100 milliliters it looks like. We got the nice faux leather chrome cap. Frosted glass bottle. Don't mind that, that's just from being in storage, smashed up against other aftershaves. Then there's the backside ingredients there. What I liked about their aftershaves, at least back in the day, was that you could have alcohol or alcohol free. You could have mentholated, synthetic mentholated, or non-menthol. You know, this one here looks like alcohol, witch hazel. I don't see any menthol, so we're gonna give it a good shake. And of course, you know, we got the industry standard quality restrictor right there. You can just go ham. You're not gonna overserve yourself. It's easy. It's kind of just a simple, you don't gotta think about it. You're not gonna overserve yourself. You could just let it splash as vigorously or as gingerly as you please. That's the way we like it. And the scent on the aftershave is just bold and banging. It is just so much. It's better than the soap, that's for sure. The soap's about mid-scent strength. The aftershave, bold and banging. Trademark DK, damn fine shave. Contact my lawyer. No. All right. I have gone long enough. Hope you guys enjoyed the shave. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Whenever this gets uploaded, I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.